Hello everyone and welcome to SEO's channel. I'm Spandana. 28 January marks the completion of 75 years of the Supreme Court of India. Back in 1950, the court had a sanctioned strength of only 8 judges. As part of our year-long special series commemorating this milestone, we had sketched pen portraits of the original 8 judges of this polyvocal institution. It was a motley crew representing 4 regions and 3 religions, and all the judges used to sit together to hear matters of great importance in the new republic. In the 75 years since, the sanctioned strength of the court has been modified 6 times to reach 34 today. It was expanded to 11 in 1956, 14 in 1960, 18 in 1978, to 26 in 1986, 31 in 2009, and finally 34 in 2019. The expansion in bench strength has been considered necessary as more cases reach the Supreme Court. Now, just as of December 2024, over 83,000 cases remained pending. That's nearly a 14,000 increase since the end of 2020. To zoom out a little bit, at the close of 1950, the first year of the court's functioning, there were only 690 cases pending at the court. Now, to be sure, India does have one of the lowest judge to population ratios in the world. We have 21 judges per million population. That's far less than the 50 per million population recommended by the Law Commission report in 1987. For some context, the US has 150 judges per million population. Just last year, then Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud also remarked that we simply need more judges. We are engaging with the government to increase the strength of the judiciary at all levels. But the fact remains is that increasing bench strength is not the silver bullet that Chandrachud's remark may have made it out to be. For example, in 2019, when the bench strength was increased the last time, author Gautam Bhatia pointed out that coherent and consistent jurisprudence will go a long way to address caseload than more judges. Bhatia noted that the polyvocality of the Supreme Court had led to a situation where different benches of the Supreme Court have passed conflicting orders and have at times purported to directly overrule each other. Another argument that also holds merit is that the increased caseload is linked to the court's ever-expanding jurisdiction. Take, for example, the court's special leave powers. In 2023, the authors of Court on Trial, a database study, had noted that appeals against judgments of subordinate courts comprise the majority of cases that reach the top court. In its formative years, SLPs were a rare phenomenon. Last year, former Judge Madan Lokar noted that SLPs were meant to be used sparingly and only upon the issuance of a certificate by high courts. But that is not the case today. They are filed frequently and excessively. Another reason is also the court's own moral computation to ensure that justice is not denied. Funnily, it was the PIL Judge Justice Bhagwati who had cautioned about the flip side of this attitude back in 1986. Sometimes we judges feel that when a case comes before us and we find that injustice has been done, how can we shut our eyes to it? But the answer to this anguished query is that judges of the apex court may not shut their eyes to injustice, but they must equally not keep their eyes too wide open. But interestingly, the court seems to not have taken its own advice to heart with the haphazard evolution of its PIL powers. The result? More cases choking the court's docket. Pendency has also not been helped by another fact: the government's propensity for litigation. The government is the party in nearly 3/4 of all cases admitted by the court. Therefore, throwing more judges at the problem might come across as more courtrooms to litigate in by the country's biggest litigator. As we celebrate this major milestone of 75 years of an institution that has often delivered what it has promised, we must not lose sight of the fact that it has progressively been overwhelmed by a burden that is spiraling out of control. At least partly, the situation is a result of its own doing. Its insistence on increasing bench strength, especially in recent times, should not be allowed to overshadow a more fundamental debate around quality control. Thank you for listening and stay tuned to SE Observer for more.